4-2 formation with Dan and Chicha up top. What did you see from that? And again, how important is getting that first goal for you guys?
The first goal was really important. I think, the intention of our group was to come out with just a different level of intensity and a little bit more directness at the start, like I said. So I thought that got us going. I thought our guys were sprinting right off the bat. I think sometimes we've had a couple home games where we've been so calculated at the start that we haven't really gotten ourselves going until we were down a goal. And so the intention tonight was really to try to spur our energy on without necessarily really exposing ourselves, but through playing forward more and getting the ball to our front guys a little faster, could we build a little bit more intensity and speed into the game. So I thought that was really important. As far as the two strikers, I think it worked out on the attacking side for sure. I think we suffered a little bit defensively over the course of the game, just trying to manage their three-man build-out and getting our collective movement at the same time just meant that we were either a little late or stuck or whatever, which meant you defend in numbers. You get guys behind the ball, you condense spaces, you move people around, and as I said to the guys, everybody did whatever they had to do in this game to defend, because I felt and we made a little we had to make an adjustment earlier in the game because of a player issue, and so our preparation for the game ended up being different, and we had to make that change today, which I've never felt like we really settled into an efficient defending posture. We kind of defended in numbers, and so and we did a nice job of that, and credit to the guys for the commitment to break out in the transition and to get guys going forward in the transition, because that's where we really punished them at the end of the day, was in the transition, because we didn't have large stretches of possession like we normally do at home. And I think some of that has to do with two forwards, but maybe punishing them the way we did has a little bit to do with two forwards too, right? So it's what I said before, it's a balancing act sometimes when you play with two forwards.
And with Daniel Javier as well, I know you were talking about him after the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
You see him come into this game, puts in a great backdoor pass to Julian.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him, and have you been impressed with his play?
I have. Look, Daniel he's a cool customer. I mean, the guy's emotion never changes since day one when he came in as a college kid from Riverside, and we didn't know who he was, and I threw him in to play right back in a preseason game because whoever was playing right back at the time was getting skinned by somebody in Kansas City, and he came into right back, which isn't even his position, and just locked it down and we're like, who's this kid? Like, he just stepped into that and was dealing with a very good right back or right winger, left winger, and just closed it down. He's always been cool. So every day he shows up, he does the work, he does what he has to do. He's versatile, he can play different roles because he's a cerebral player. And for me, it's just part of it is continuing to give him moments to build trust with him within the group so that we know he's connected with the group and he can give us what he can on a consistent basis. And he certainly has done that in his opportunities, especially in these last two games. But I think always in his opportunities, he's very solid. And today we played him in a slightly different role because we put him a little bit wider and to try to help us again defensively, but also to just try to give us a little bit of possession. And he slips in a nice little backdoor ball that I think unlocks the game a little bit for us. That makes it 3-0, right? So that's an important goal. So I'm really pleased with Daniel. I know he was probably disappointed he didn't start today because of the performance. I thought he had a nice solid performance last game, but I also felt like we needed a little bit of size and Ryan to help defend in set pieces because they're a big team, and so but he did a great job when he came in.
Greg, two women over here. Things are so reactionary after wins after losses. We sat here not so long ago after the Sacramento game and talked a little bit about mentality. And you kind of mentioned the damage you guys didn't know today, but what do you see personally from the team and showing that fight and showing that mentality to come out? I mean, you guys don't play too much decent opposition, but the team that's been playing really well, up on the table, and then you guys obviously have a big game coming up. Like, how does that mental just get focused from Monday on or from the weekend on to perform like that today?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it's something that I, from a personal standpoint as the leader of this team, have to check on myself, because I'm a coach, I'm a tactician sometimes, and I'm a teacher in the way I do things, and sometimes I have to remind myself that I have to help provide the team with some intensity. So I try to come in and drive this group a little bit more today in terms of the way I approach them. Yesterday was probably the most intense day before a game training that we've had the entire year. I don't even think it's a question, it is. Which brought in some intensity today, and a little bit for me is to keep is to remind myself so that I can also push that into the team. If the team doesn't become overly analytical and trying to think through things too much, but really also is driving. Today was a result based off of intensity, hard work, right? Dedication, doing what you need to do, and executing on the transition when we needed to. It wasn't necessarily a game of tactical superiority on the day. It was a game where the guys just put it in and they got the job done. Sometimes that's the way the game plays out.
And I gotta ask, I don't know if you're able to either replay it or just your reaction to Sacha's assist in that moment, and how do you live that?
Yeah, that was class. I asked him if he meant it or if he was just trying to clear the ball to play forward so we could forecheck. But no, he saw it. He meant it. We've missed Sacha because he just brings cool, calm, and collected, smart, clean, tactically aware player and some leadership to our group that we've missed him. So to get him back out there and going again tonight was really big for our group in general, and it was nice to see him impact the game in that way as well.
Your thoughts as we go to VAR and Dejan just picks up the ball and starts taking it to the spot?
Yeah, I mean, Dejan is as confident as they come when the striker, he hits those things after training just about every day when training ends. He's confident about it. I've seen him do it time and time again in training, and a couple in I think it was the Open Cup game. So I was confident when the ball was in his hands. For me, I'm just never really confident what call is gonna come out of that, but I was more confident in Dejan's ability to pick his spot and put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, this was one of those games where, I mean, sometimes you have games where things just haven't gone your way, and today, the ball bounced your way.
Yeah, I think, sometimes that happens when you just put in the work, maybe. Sometimes that happens because it's football and things can go either way, and because there's human beings involved in the games and things can go different ways. But today, I think just the honest effort, the collective effort, the commitment, the intensity, all those things were there, and maybe we earned a little bit more in the way of bounces. We earned a little bit more of the blue collar results on that side of things, right? Because the harder you work, the more breaks you tend to get, I think, and so maybe we just worked our way through that tonight.
To get that kind of effort, to get that kind of performance, and to get this kind of result, what does it mean going into Friday with as big a game as that is?
Yeah, I think it's really big just because the challenging results we've had over the last few games, and where I think coming out of the international break that was really long, where we just hadn't clicked the way we were right before. So I think to have just a hard, intense, committed effort today is going to be what it's going to take against a team like LAFC. They're a good team, so you also got to sometimes do whatever you have to do in that game, out-compete, out-battle, out-fight, because it's a derby, but at the same time you got to play some good soccer and you got to try to control the game, because they got players who can hurt you if you give them too much of the ball and too much time. So tactically we got to execute a little cleaner against a team like LAFC, but we have to come out with the same mentality, same intensity. I think that's where we were able to set the bar in the last game when we played them here. I thought we came out with a nice tempo to what we're doing and a nice presence about what we're doing. That needs to happen again, especially on the road.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, thanks.
I'm actually going to keep this really brief and not answer any questions about the game. I'm not joking. I'm sick to my stomach about what's happened in Illinois today, and I think we need to talk about gun control. You guys can write about the game if you want, but I don't really give a shit. It's a sick, vicious cycle that keeps happening over and over, and we're doing nothing about it, and it makes me sick. I don't know, Congress, senators, if anyone sees this, do something. Our kids get shot up, and we say thoughts and prayers, and it does nothing. And then we talk about it on social media, and then it does nothing. And then our government does nothing, and then someone gets shot up again. So it's sick. It pisses me off, and I'm can't even think about anything else but that. I don't even know what to say. I'm not a politician, but I'm a human being, and my kids are. I fear for them when they go to school, and then it pisses me off. And I think if it doesn't piss you off and you don't want new gun laws in this country, then there's something wrong with you. So I guess that's all I have to say.
On top of the Supreme Court's decision to,
That's a whole nother subject.
with their decision on New York and guns.
It's ridiculous that we have 9 people that don't really represent what the majority of Americans want, making decisions and then taking liberties away from women and putting everyone's lives at risk by allowing these insane laws.
Have you had that conversation with your kids about what's going on?
Yeah, it's sick. They tell me that they practice at school for if there is a shooter to come in. It's sad. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Appreciate it. Just, can you talk a little bit about the team's mentality? You guys put a pretty big number up there today, rather dominant in certain phases of the game. Greg said, he wasn't exactly happy with the lack of possession, but at the same time, you guys did all the things that you needed to do tonight. How is this different from maybe some of the other games you guys have played in recent days?
I would say just from the beginning, our intensity, the mentality of each and every individual on the field, well, it was sharp. It was excellent from the beginning. Everyone was locked in. We gave them nothing. We didn't let them pick their head up. Once they left it off to someone else, another guy was going out and pressuring, and we were following in from behind. So we didn't give them much time to, really put anything together. So I would say, what was it, Austin and the LAFC game, we were exactly like that, just, a bit better possession. But, when we're at our best, that's what we do, The intensity is just at another level. The focus is on another level, and, all together, we can definitely be a very dangerous team.
When we see just these changes against really good teams, you guys seem to have absolute 100% belief that you can beat any team in this league, and maybe it doesn't show up against some teams that are closer to the bottom. What's the difference in that?
I would say it's just an understanding that every game in this league is, we have a lot of foreigners, but we do have MLS experience, and trying to get that across everyone's head that every game in this league is very important. Every point matters. So we got to enter every game with the mentality that we had today. Every game has to be like that. We respect what they can do. They may not be as high on the table, but we got to bring it every game. We just gotta carry that each and every game.
Mark, given the intensity today, the performance, the result itself, in what ways how does this lead to Friday? In what ways does this really set you up for Friday, since that's obviously a big game?
I think it puts us in a good position. We came out with the win, good win. Everyone's feeling good, and it just sets the tone for the next match and so forth. This is a standard. This is where we have to be at, and if not better. And we just got to continue pushing the bar. So, we can't go backwards anymore. We got to keep going forwards and keep pushing the bar.
Hey Mark, Greg said yesterday was one of the toughest day before game training session. What did you guys sense that, and what did you guys do to go through there?
Yeah, we as a group, we've come together, and we're holding each other a lot more accountable. Taking, I wouldn't say we took sessions off, but not everyone was on the level of focus as others. And now everyone's coming together, and we're really understanding that the second half of the season is very important, and the table's very tight. So we have to have that, that mentality that every day we have to bring it, and we have to have that mentality of getting better and making each other better. That way on the weekend, it's just a product of what we did throughout the whole week.
Robert?
Congratulations. You play alongside Ryan a lot. Today you got 2 goals.
Yeah.
How good did that feel for you guys, seeing that from him today?
Yeah, it was great. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He gets forward a lot. He works hard. Me and him are always covering a lot of ground in the midfield. We're always communicating with one another, just trying to cover each other's back and sort out things in the midfield. And for him to get on the end of 2 goals today, I'm extremely happy for him. So hopefully gives him more confidence going forward and taking more shots, getting in the box more, and getting on the end of things. And hopefully he can go forward and continue getting more goals.
Thanks for your time, Mark.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Who did that?
Hi guys.
Chicharito.
Good
Hello.
evening.
All right, we'll start with Damien from here.
Hey, Javier.
Hey. Oh,
First of all, how did it feel? I mean, you first goal since May 29th, I think, and also the team's first win.
How do you think?
it feel to you guys?
I think awesome. I always said it, always in my position to score goals, it's always going to be something that gives you a lot of confidence and motivation. But then with those goals can help and transform in victories or points. It's always unbelievable. But yeah, I said it as well in the same interview when we lost against Sacramento in the US Cup. That we need to stay calm. Greatest franchises and greatest teams, they go and they face every game and every obstacle with the same serenity, if you want to call it. They don't feel that they're the best and we have done everything, or when they lose, they don't feel that they're the worst and everything and they panic. So I think that's the consistency that I spoke about even with you before. I think it was the game against Portland probably, that we need consistency. And in this league you can see it. Today DC goes to Orlando and beat them 3-5. That's the beauty of this league, that whoever finds consistency is going to be more close to win that championship or to qualify to playoffs. So I think, yeah, of course we're going to enjoy. It's a 4-0 in our stadium. A shutout, a clean sheet. We scored 4 goals, 3 different teammates who scored. And yeah, I think it's a very complete performance in a way, but we haven't done nothing. Here the aim is to get as high as we can in our conference to qualify for playoffs, and then we know that that's a separate tournament when playoffs start.
Greg has talked about how you guys have started these home games, a little, maybe off the front foot a little bit. What do you think about the way you guys started today?
Look, man, I sometimes, and I think it's part of the game and the narratives and the the press side and stuff. But for example, it's against Minnesota, we have one chance with Victor Heder that the keeper did a very good save, and he could have changed the game. Today as well, Bundy did an amazing save and could have changed the game. That's why sometimes calmness and put everything in perspective is always the best way, in my opinion, to see and to face life. Because yeah, we need to be respectful with them. They were on top of the East Conference, and we weren't playing pretty well in the last 3 or 4 games. So yeah, we need to be just very respectful. We feel pretty confident, pretty happy. But yeah, I mean, by the experience last season and by that hurtful experience, we cannot celebrate nothing more than it is. It's 3 points with a lot of confirmations, that with a lot of attitude, playing together, fight, giving everything, and then of course be as focused as we can and as clever as we can inside the pitch to do what Greg tells us is going to be in a more positive way than negative. But yeah, then on Friday it's one of those games that we all want to play, and yeah, we want to win, of course.
This was, I thought, one of the best games we've seen from this team in terms of that energy, that effort, the intensity, the unity, the playing for each other.
Exactly.
We don't see that every game. How do you guys make it so that is what we see every game? Or pretty much every game?
Yeah, that's key of life. That's key of life. If you keep giving the power of every outcome or everything that it's out of your control, yeah, sometimes you depend on things, on situations. It's like I always said, I do this example about the weather. Every single time that the sun comes out, you can be happy if you depend on that. And then if it's cloudy and rainy, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be sad. Of course, the mood changes and it depends. So I think, however you face every situation in your life, that's the key of life. Any obstacle, any good or very pleasant moment as well. So because there's no destiny to arrive. Even though that we won the championship, it's last season we were the clear example, the only team that we were in the playoffs. I always repeat it, right? And we were just 5 minutes away of playoff zone, and then I stay in my couch watching the playoffs and seeing New York City winning the championship, not something that I wanted. So it's yeah, consistency, be very humble, because I think humbleness, sometimes people think that humbleness you need to be like, so like, I don't know, como ser sumiso, I don't know how to say that word in English, but like, be humble is like, you don't see no one that is above you, but you don't say no one that is below you. You know, we all have the same chances, we're all humans, I always said about that, but yeah, it was a pretty complete performance for us, but I want to be clear in every single time, you know, job, it's not done. We want to qualify to playoffs, we want to be at least in top 3 of this conference, and then the playoffs, you know, it's a different tournament, it's a different vibe, it's a different atmosphere, but yeah, Galaxy needs to be over there, and we try to do our best. But of course, I think every Galaxy member, every staff member, every player, every coaching staff, Greg or whoever, of course, we're going to be more happy to work through the week when you win 4-0 against a very good team like Montreal, right? Rather than when we work after the game that we lost against Sacramento, you know, in the Cup. So yeah, that's obvious, but I want just to be pretty calm, because that's the key of everything, and I learned that from the greatest, you know. Until job is not done, you cannot relax, not even a bit, you know. You can ask, I said it before, you can ask the Warriors now, and you can ask Steph right now what he wants to do, to retire or to try to win his 5th ring. He will say that he wants to win his 5th rings, you know. So that's life. We all learn about Mamba mentality as well, another guy who teach us, and he was a very good mentor for all of us. So yeah, we need to keep going. I want to send that message, and sorry if I speak a lot, you know.
Javier, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Ryan Raveloson's play tonight. Played a little bit maybe further forward than he has in some other games, but scoring 2 goals and really being an integral part in there. What did you see from him?
Yeah, I mean, that's something very beautiful about this sport, that of course you score 2 goals and pretty much you cannot like say that you have a bad performance. You know, 2 goals are 2 goals. But I was speaking with him in the halftime, and I was telling him that him and Marca were doing a pretty good job for all of us, because of course I always believe that championship like teams, they're very key, of course, in every zone, and every player is important, but always in midfield, because I think it's like the glue between both sides, and they're like the motor of this car, if you want to use that as an analogy. So I was telling him that he was doing a pretty good job, because they play very good. You know, they're very aggressive, very offensive. Even their 3 defenders play pretty well with the ball, and they were doing a pretty good job. And I was telling him, so when he scored the first goal and then the second one, I told him like, yeah, sometimes, and in my experience, it's very few the times that I can be playing, or as a striker, we can play like a very terrible game and you score goals. Normally, when you score goals, it's a consequence of your effort, your focus, that you are in the good spot at the right time, and the team as well. They're playing pretty well, because it's 2 goals. If you can see, they were like one touch finishes. They were very good finishes, but it was a pretty well performance from everyone. You know, a style that Greg, since he came, want us to try to play every single time. And I think, yeah, of course, we played pretty well. We did a very complete performance, and we are very happy, of course.
Last one here.
You mentioned obviously LAFC Friday, huge game. We all know that. I just want to get your thoughts, just being able to see somebody play with Gareth Bale, a former teammate, come to the league, and obviously after being here now. Just your thoughts on how, not only just the rivalry, but just how that expands the league and makes you feel.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Even people don't want to mention him, and I was watching his video before I started the game, the one that he posted, Hector Herrera, you know, and that's something. Of course, we speak about Gareth Bale, and of course Gareth Bale is in a different step and winning a lot of Champions Leagues, and he was my teammate and everything that he did worldwide. But as well, Hector Herrera, a lot of players. We have Carles Hill in New England. We have all the DP's players in Signe when he arrived. I mean, he arrived last week as well. He's going to start playing. A lot of players. You know, I think that's huge. That's something that it comes in in my opinion, with a lot of responsibility. You know, because they bet your confidence not only as a team, if not as a head of a franchises like is LAFC, or heads of these leagues that to help and perform. And what a beautiful situation for you that they contemplate yourself like you can be more than a soccer player. You have a very good impact and something that they believe. So I think as Gareth, as Carlos, and as Chiellini over there, that he's not the DP, but those names around the world, when they come over here, regardless of their age, it's always amazing. And we always want to play against the best players. Like, I think as well, you can ask the players when they want to play against us. You know, you have Douglas Costa, you have myself, just putting names. You have Victor Vázquez, you have Derek Williams, you have Jonathan Bond, you have a lot of players, you know, that they play in Europe as well. So I think it's always amazing that those quality players come to this league to try to help, and of course facing them fight for the same objective that we both have, that is paying the 3 points and as well try to qualify. And then like earn the pride of this city, with the traffic come in. So yeah, of course, it's amazing, and I'm very pleased to play against them, and as well, I'm very pleased of the team and my teammates and the players that we have in this organization, and I think it's going to be a very attractive and a very amazing game that hopefully we can go there and steal the 3 points out of them. Thank you.
Javi.
Thank you, Javi.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.